going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in today. And as you could tell by the title, I'm gonna be talking about how my psychedelic experience, kind of tipped off my spiritual journey. Let's get into it. As you know, or as you may know, psychedelics is a very controversial drug. Some people is, for it, and some people, is obviously against it. My whole experience started on Friday the 13th, back in 2019. So yeah, it was a Friday. I was over a friend's house. Me and two other friends was over a friend's house. We normally go over there and chill in his garage. That's where we just vibe out, and just do what teenagers do. So yeah, it was a regular Friday, and I was not expecting to do any type of psychedelic drug. I wasn't expecting none of that. I was just there just to, just chill out. One of my friends, he had, two tabs on him. He had two tabs. The friend whose house we was at, he wanted somebody to trip with him, and I was the only one that never did any type of psychedelic drugs. Everybody in the room had already did it except for me, so I was like, all right. So we ended up taking it. He actually did it before I did, because it was my first time. I was low-key overthinking, like I didn't want to do anything wrong. I didn't want to go into the experience just overthinking it. It took a little minute for me to actually just put it on my tongue. So yeah, so hours was going by. It felt like time didn't even exist. So yeah, it was like 5 p.m. in the day, 5 p.m. And then, like I said, time was just flying. So, we took the tabs. It took for me, it took about like an hour. Took about an hour. So I took it at like 5 something, probably like 5:30. And then I started noticing the effects like an hour and a half, probably like later. So it took a little while. So, everybody was just telling me you can't go into the whole trip or the experience, overthinking. You just gotta do it, So I just did exactly that. So, time ended up passing, and, it got dark outside. The sun had went down by then. Honestly, it was probably about 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock by the time we actually decided to get up and go outside. Cause when I was into the whole thing, I was just on a couch, just sitting there, and I wanted to move around. I didn't want to stay in one place, so I was like, yo, let's go outside. And kid you not, I looked into the skies. The clouds were just forming into like, the clouds were just forming into like little like shapes. Like it looked so unreal. Like the clouds just looked so fake. I was like noticing like little patterns in the clouds that I never seen before. And then, me and my friend, we was just staring into the view. And he had a big house, so like he had a nice view that you could like look over and you would see like a bridge. You could see like like the water and all that. So yeah, he just had a nice view. So when I'm looking, I'm seeing everything like close up. So we're on his property just looking over into the view, but in my eyes, like everything seemed like 3D, like up close, as of like how a normal like human would like look into a view and everything would be far away. Like everything was like up close. And then for some reason we started playing basketball. And man, like when we started playing basketball, I'm thinking I still got it. I'm like, yo, this shit feels good. And then I accidentally try to do like a flashy pass, and I ended up hitting one of my friends in the head. So yeah, that was that part. And then once I hit one of my friends in the head, I was like, nah, I gotta chill out. The time just kept going. Like the time felt like it didn't even exist. Like I was just in my own world at that moment. So I'm just looking around, and in that moment, I'm like a kid again. I just felt pure bliss. I'm just looking around, seeing everything that's in my environment. I'm just taking it in because I never experienced anything like that before. So yeah, I was just looking around at the trees and everything that was just around. And even the trees, it just looked, I thought like something was gonna pop out of it, because it didn't. The trees, like the trees that my friend had, it just looked, something just was off about it. Like it just looked so fake. So I was trying to keep my distance from the trees. So time went by. you know we ended up going inside. um Ended up going inside, and I believe we started like smoking, because we was just smoking just to like keep the vibes high, you know what I'm saying? Cause after everything I'm seeing, I'm like, man, I need to smoke again, cause this shit just seems so unreal. We went inside, smoked, and then we just on the couch just chilling. And then my friends, whose house we was at, his mom had came home, and yeah, his mom had came home with like some groceries. And then I'm a natural, like caring, nice person. So while my other two friends was on the couch just sitting there, you know, me in my mind, I'm worried about my friend and his mom and the groceries. you know I'm like, man, I should just get up and help them. Like I just randomly like thought of just helping them, like just for the sake of it. So I got up, and then I offered to help my friend with and his mom with the groceries, and he was like, "Nah, you cool." And then I was like, "Nah, bro, I want to help y'all. I want to help y'all." So I just grabbed. I literally took the. I literally took one of the grocery bags out his hand and went right upstairs without no permission. I just took it and just went. I don't know. In that moment, I just felt like, being nice. And then, yeah, so after I did that, I ended up coming back downstairs in the garage, and I went back to sit on the couch, cause he had a couch in the garage, mind you, this is where we chill, and just vibe out. So I went back on the couch, and then, I started, I think music was like playing on like the speaker. So I'm hearing all of these like frequencies, like I'm hearing all of these frequencies. I was listening to Goosebumps by Travis Scott, and like I'm telling you, like it felt like he was like literally coming out the speaker, like speaking to me. And mind you, these tabs, they were high dosage. It was a high dosage tab. So for my first time, I was tripping off a high dosage, so I was seeing things completely differently from how small amount of dosage would like affect somebody. I'm hearing all this frequencies coming through the speaker, and I was like, at the like still in my mind, I knew I was tripping. I knew that this is what comes with doing the drug. So I wasn't really stressing it. I was just like, this is a part of it. So yeah, I was listening to Goosebumps, and Trav was like,
"You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine."
so in my head, I'm like, damn, like I smoke because, it eases my mind and it makes everything feel fine. And that just made me like tune like out. It just made me realize so much about myself and, in a way. So, we just vibing out on the couch, and then I'm just sitting there, and then I'm having like flashes in my head. Like I'm having this flash that I'm walking through this like tunnel. I'm walking through this tunnel, and as I'm walking through this tunnel, there's like, I'm seeing like people on this side and this side, and I'm just walking through the tunnel, and then everybody's just clapping for me. And mind you, this is all in my head. So yeah, everybody's just clapping for me, and then I just started crying. I just burst out crying out of nowhere. Just started crying because I'm like, why are all these people just clapping for me? And it just felt like I did something, like, I felt like I changed the world. I just started crying, and then, my friends started asking me if I'm good, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just seeing all these people just clapping in my head. So yeah, that happened, and then we decided to go back outside. I'm still looking into as we go outside, I randomly just looked into the distance, and everything is just 3D crystal clear in my vision. And it just made me so like, I was just viewing, it just made me feel like a child again, basically. So, you know, and my car was parked up outside. My car was parked up outside. And then I told one of my friends, I was like, yo, where's my Lamborghini, or where's my Ferrari? And mind you, I'm thinking that I'm this new changed, successful person with this whole bunch of money. So I'm like, why do I have my car outside when, in my head I'm thinking I have a whole Ferrari outside, so I'm like, where's my car at? Where's my car at? And my friend was just like, I forgot what he said, but he said something about it's all in your head or something like that. And I was like, it's all in my head. Like, I'm like, what is going on? Where's my Ferrari? We ended up going back outside. Going back inside. And then, we went right back on the couch. At this point it's late, but in my head, I'm not even worried about the time, because once you're off psychedelics, time really does not exist. So I'm thinking it's early, but in reality it's actually late as hell. We back inside, and me and my friend that were on the drug together, like, it felt like I could read his mind. It felt like I was in his mind, and I was just like reading everything he was like thinking about or just feeling, and that was just weird to me. That was weird to me, but it was opening my eyes at the same time, because I was just learning, from everything I was seeing. I'm thinking that me and him have this connection, but at the end of the day, we're all one. So that connection was very real. But yeah, so, we on the couch, and like instantly everything felt like it was being acted out. Like, my friends were around, and it just felt like they were like an audience, or like they knew what I was like going through. They seemed like they were just there. They felt like to me it looked like they was like an audience just or just like a judge just telling me, why this is happening, why that's happening, and why I'm seeing it like how I'm seeing it. I just got up. I got up from the couch, and then, my friend whose house we was at, he has like posters on the wall. So he had this like money poster, and then I got up, and then I just started, rubbing into the money. In that moment, I'm just realizing that attaining all that money is really possible. It's really not that hard. It's just all in my head and how I think. So after I'm savoring all that money, think I went back on the couch. I went back on the couch, and I started like taking off my jeans. I started taking off my sneakers, brand new pair of sneakers on my feet. I took it off, and I started asking one of my friends if he wanted it. Cause in that moment, I'm not realizing it, but in that moment, that's just me saying that none of this material stuff matters. None of that matters. But in the moment, I didn't I didn't fully realize it. Mind you, the time is just going and going. So my mom is calling me. My mom is blowing up my phone, asking me where I'm at, and I was trying not to let that like affect me, cause growing up, my mom would always try to pull that fear tactic, to get what she wants. She was just calling me, and I was just ignoring her, cause I was just I was still in my trip, and I didn't want her like negativity and fear tactics just messing with my head. She was like, don't come back to the house, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you kicking me out? But like, I know how my mom is, so I know she wasn't gonna kick me out. But in that moment, it made me realize that, it's all like, it made me realize something about my mom and like how she kind of raised me, and that I feel like that little experience kind of changed the way I think. It changed the way I viewed my mom and like how I think when it comes to her, if that makes sense. Coming towards the end of the trip, it was like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. So it went from me putting a tab on my tongue at 5 p.m. to me being at my friend's house until 4 in the morning. So, and that's why my mom started like bugging out, saying don't come back home and this and that. And mind you, I had work the next day. I don't remember what specific time, but I had work the next day. It was a Friday going into a Saturday. So, the trip was like winding down. So it's like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And then, I knew at the back of my mind that I had to drive home, and my other 2 friends were with me. So I knew I had to drive them home and then get myself home, after I just experienced everything I just experienced. I knew I had to do all of that. But, so I knew I had to do all of that. So I was trying to ask my friend, can I sleep, in the garage? I was like, let's just stay here. I'm not trying to drive. But I ended up driving, I got home safely, and then, I went to sleep. And then, the next day, came, and then I ended up going to work. And then, like on my way to work, I felt so in tune with nature. Like I'm driving and I'm looking side to side, at all the trees I'm passing by. I'm so in tune with like nature, and like everything still felt like it was just here, like before everything felt so far away and I wasn't like in tune with like, the sky and like the trees and birds. But in that moment, I felt so in tune. And then, I got to work, clocked in, did what I had to do, and then, yeah, I did what I had to do, and then it just, while I'm at work, it started raining. It started pouring down, raining, and then I was like, yo, like, after that moment, I knew my life was never gonna be the same, because it just started pouring out, raining out of nowhere. So that's how I knew, like, something was about to change in my life. So yeah, that was my psychedelic experience and how it kind of transformed me into who I am right now. If it wasn't for that experience, I don't think I would have unlocked, like, that the way I think now. I don't think I would have, like, viewed everything how I view it now. I was not planning to do no psychedelic drug. I wasn't planning on doing that, but it took me to just doing that. It took me to do that to just change my whole life around. And I'm blessed that that's how I came into who I'm still progressing to be. I'll be posting more videos, on my experience, and how I got here. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.